Hi, and welcome back to Red Hot Literature. This is part 3, our adventure through Lord of the Rings. And tonight, I'm going to do a jalapeno. This is a monster jalapeno, so I'm not exactly sure. It's probably about the same as a regular jalapeno, but it's probably a little bit more than that pesky mulatto salado I tried last time. So I sort of know what to expect with this. And plus, I'm not going to be chewing a giant pepper forever, but who knows. Anyways, we're back on our giant book. We're at like page 35. So here we go. I've heard they went on the water after dinner in the moonlight, said old Noakes, and it was Drogo's weight as he sunk the boat. And I heard she pushed him in, and he pulled her in after him, said Sandyman the Hobbiton Miller. You shouldn't listen to all you hear, Sandyman, said the gaffer, who don't much like the miller. There isn't no call for to go talking of pushing and pulling. Boats are quite tricky enough for those that sit still without looking further for cause of trouble. Anyway, there was this Mr. Frodo left an orphan and stranded, as you might say, among those queer Bucklanders, being brought up anyhow in Brandy Hall, a regular warren by all accounts. Old Master Garbotic never had fewer than a couple hundred relations in the place. Oh. Mr. Bilbo never did a kinder deed than when he brought the lad back to live among decent folk. But I reckon it was a nasty knock for those Sackville Bagginses. They thought they were going to get to Bag End at that time, and he went off to be dead, and was thought to be dead. And then he comes back and orders them off, and he goes on living and living, never looking a day older, bless him. And suddenly he produces an heir, and has all the papers made out proper. The Sackville Bagginses won't ever see the inside of Bag End now, or it is to be hoped not. Whew. Ugh. There's a tiny bit of money tucked away up there, I hear tell, said a stranger. A visitor on business from Michael Delving in the West Farthing. All the top of your hill is full of tunnels packed with chests of gold and silver and jewels, by what I've heard. That was an odd spelling of jewels. Then you've heard more than I can speak to, answered the gaffer. I know nothing about jewels. Mr. Bilbo is free with his money, and there seems no lack of it. But I know of no tunnel making. I saw Mr. Bilbo when he came back, a matter of 60 years ago when I was a lad. I'd not long come apprentice to old Holman, him being my dad's cousin. But he had me up at Bag End, helping him keep folks from trampling and trespassing all over the garden while the sale was on. And in the middle of it, Mr. Bilbo comes up the hill with a pony and some mighty big bags and a couple of chests. I don't doubt they were mostly full of treasure he had picked up in foreign parts, where there to be mountains of gold. Where there be mountains of gold, they say. But it wasn't enough to fill tunnels. But my lad Sam will know more about that. He's in and out of Bag End. Crazy about stories of the old days he is, and he listens to all Mr. Bilbo's tales. Mr. Bilbo has learned him his letters, meaning no harm, mark you, and I hope no harm will come of it. Ugh. All these things warm. Ugh. A few more. I'll take another bite. Elves and dragons, I say to him, cabbages and potatoes are better for me and you. Don't go getting mixed up in the business of your betters, or you'll land in trouble too big for you. I says to him, and I might say it to others, he added with a look at the stranger and the miller. But the gaffer did not convince his audience. The legend of Bilbo's wealth was now too firmly fixed in the minds of younger generations of hobbits. But he has likely been enough. He has likely enough been adding to what he brought at first, argued the miller, voicing common opinion. He's often away from home, and look at the outlandish folk that visit him. Dwarves coming at night, and that old wandering conjurer Gandalf and all. You can say what you like, Gaffer, but Bag End's a queer place, and its folks are queerer. Alright, let's do the rest of this. Eye of the tiger, eye of the tiger, eye of the tiger. No, wait, that's not. Yeah, that is it. Oh, horrible, horrible. Ugh. Oh. That's my dog. And you can say what you like about what you know. You know no more than you do of boating, Mr. Sandyman, retorted the Gaffer, disliking the miller even more than usual. If that's being queer, then we could do a bit more, with a bit more queerness in these parts. There's some not far away that wouldn't offer a pint of beer to a friend, and if they lived in a hole with golden walls, but they do things proper at Bag End. Our Sam says that everyone's going to be invited to the party, and there's going to be presents, mark you, presents for all, this very month as is. Whew. Just fire. Ah. Whew. Well, why did I choose to do this? Why? Sweating like a pig. Well, pigs don't sweat, yes, we all know that. That very month was September, and as fine as you could ask. A day or two later, a rumor, probably started by the knowledgeable Sam, was spread about that there was going to be fireworks. Fire. Fireworks is fire. What is more, such as had not been seen in the Shire for nigh on a century, not indeed since old Took died. Days passed, and the day drew nearer. An odd-looking wagon laden with odd-looking packages rolled into Hobbiton one evening and toiled up the hill to Bag End. The startled hobbits peered out of lamp-lit doors to gape at it. It was driven by outlandish folk, singing strange songs, dwarves with long beards and deep hoods. A few of them remained at Bag End. At the end of the second week of September, a cart came in through the bywater from the direction of Brandywine Bridge in broad daylight. An old man was driving it all alone. He wore a tall, pointed blue hat, a long grey cloak, and a silver scarf. Where was I? Oh, scarf. I'm losing my... It's sweaty. I can't losing where I'm reading my book. That's in the scarf. Oh, he had a long white beard and bushy eyebrows that stuck out beyond the brim of his hat. Small hobbit children ran after the cart all through Hobbiton and right up the hill. It had a cargo of fireworks. Fire. As they were rightly guessed. At Bilbo's front door, the old man began to unload. There were great bundles of fireworks of all sorts and shapes, each labeled with a large red G, something, and the elf rune. Alright, I guess these are the way the letters are written. Alright, a little more to go. That was Gandalf's mark, of course. And the old man was Gandalf the Wizard, whose fame in the Shire was due mainly to his skill with fire, smoke, and lights. His real business was far more difficult and dangerous, but the Shire folk knew nothing about it. To him, But to them, he was just one of the attractions at the party. Hence the excitement of the hobbit children. "G for grand!" they shouted. And the old man smiled. They knew him by sight, though he only appeared in Hobbiton occasionally and never stopped long. But neither they nor any but the oldest of their elders had seen one of his firework displays. They now belonged to a legendary past. When the old man, helped by Bilbo and some dwarves, had finished unloading, Bilbo gave a few pennies away. But not a single squib or firecracker was forthcoming, to the disappointment of the onlookers. "Run away now," said Gandalf. "You will get plenty when the time comes." Then he disappeared inside with Bilbo, and the door was shut. The young hobbits stared at the door in vain for a while, and then made off, feeling that the day of the party would never come. Alright, I'm going to cut it for there. Pretty cool fireworks. I would try to get back to it probably again, maybe in another night or so. And when I do, I'm going to bring on that Peter Pepper that I tried. So stay tuned. We'll make our way, and it would have been awesome having my little Lego, Gandalf arrives at the party. It'd be cool, but oh well. All right. Good night.